Pathmark is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmark qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmark to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmark.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Jason Abraham, managing partner there with Hupy and Abraham. How you doing today, Jason?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
No, it's exciting as well for us here at Pathmark Presents, first of its kind. So really wanted to dig deep into it and learn a little bit more about what you guys do there in the Midwest. We were talking about it. So in your own words, Jason, can you tell us a little bit more about your firm?
Yeah, I'm so proud of the firm, but we're the Midwest's biggest personal injury law firm. We have offices all through Wisconsin, Illinois, and Iowa. And what we do is represent injured people and sue insurance companies and companies that make defective products to try to help injured people.
Definitely. Well, that's serious. I'm glad that you guys, we got the best here in the Midwest. And so that way our listeners could get a good understanding of your firm then. Is there you guys like to focus on a certain amount of per se injuries, personal injuries? Is there a certain type of vertical or client that you guys would go for?
You know, that's a really interesting question. And we founded our firm just deciding that we were going to help injured people. A lot of firms say to themselves, we're not going to get involved in a case unless it's a certain size where they can see a certain dollar amount that they're going to recover on their case. We took a totally different path. My partner, Mike Hupy, and I, wow, going back 30 years that he and I have been together. It's crazy to think it's been that long. You know, we kind of looked at it and said that we're just going to help injured people. And as long as we think we can win the case, we're not necessarily going to worry about how big the case is. Because even before the practice of personal injury law became a marketing circus, and let me tell you, as I'm sure you know, it is a marketing circus now, we understood that the lifetime value of a client was huge. And so it didn't matter necessarily how big the individual case was. What mattered was that if we did a great job and the client was happy, they would go out and tell their friends and family that they got great service and were happy with Hupy and Abraham. And therefore, they would refer those people to us. And those leads don't cost anything at all. So shockingly, we have represented over 70,000 people in personal injury matters and received well over $1 billion for them. So we have all of those people out there, you know, telling people to come to Hupy and Abraham, but we're also a huge marketer. So, you know, we had foresight before marketing became as big as it is today and understood that the lifetime value of clients was there and important. And so we didn't worry about how big the case was. We just worried about helping people and then hope that would transform our business into getting bigger and bigger and more successful, and it surely has.
I definitely would agree with you. I mean, 12 years in a row, voted best, rated the best. So definitely you guys, you know, whenever you have that mindset of helping people, I think it pays off. And you guys are proof of that. So great to have you guys on. And so that, I mean, you do a lot of marketing there, as you mentioned, but is there a top client acquisition channel that you guys have that you see the best converting for you guys?
I think early on, for sure, it was broadcast television. If we go back to when I was first starting being a personal injury lawyer, as I said, about 30 years ago, you didn't really have the web, local service ad, your website, pay-per-click, and all those other tools that are at our disposal now. Really, back in the day, it started with Yellow Pages. That's a dinosaur now. Most people don't even know what the Yellow Pages are because no one uses them anymore. But there was the Yellow Pages, which was the first form of marketing, and there was broadcast TV. So we started with both of those and then kept increasing our budget on broadcast TV. And that was the bread and butter going back probably 20 years ago, was broadcast TV. And then obviously cable TV, website, pay-per-click, Now you have the situation with people that are cord cutters and they're not even watching cable anymore. They're streaming through all their devices. And so I think TV in general, whether it's broadcast cable or cord cutting, is the name of the game because it gets you the biggest reach. But that in and of itself isn't enough anymore. If you are gonna be a full service and you want to be a big player in the industry, you have to figure it all out. You can't leave any stone unturned, and you have to really figure out who the experts are in each individual area, because it isn't going to be you. If I think that I'm so smart that I could handle TV, cable, cord cutting, pay-per-click, local service ads, my website, I'm really foolish. And you have to find out who the experts are in each area, and you have to be willing to spend the money to hire the best to get the best results.
Definitely would agree with you on that. And so that way our listeners could check you guys out. You could check them out at hupy.com. What role would you say the website plays for any client acquisition, Jason?
I think a huge role, an unbelievably huge role. And it requires you to constantly be checking your website out, changing things. If you look at my website this year, it looks different than it did the year before. And I think, like anything else in life, you get what you pay for. And the one thing I preach to all of our potential clients and our employees is, how do we differentiate ourselves between our competition? I'm never afraid of my competition, because as the managing partner, it's on me to make sure the product that I put out there entices enough clients to want to hire me. And I think the best way to showcase yourself and what you've done and your happy clients is through your website, because it allows a prospective client to go there anonymously, check you out for as little or as long as they want to, and not feel pressure when they're on the phone with you, to just see your results. Put it out there how great you are. Not only the great services you provided to other clients, but for us, we have a mission statement that says we're going to give back based on our successes. And we have definitely done that. In the last 5 years, we've given over $1 million to make the communities we practice in better. You can showcase all of those things. So the website, I think, is probably one of the most important tools you have of any business, because when clients go there, they can check you out. They can see the good work you're doing. They can see how you give back in the community. And if you're not spending money on it, I guarantee you your potential client or customer is going to see that when they go to your website. So that is a direct reflection on you and your business, and something you have to take extremely serious.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you have a good understanding of it. And so would there be any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
I think for us, the website lead generation is just, how can we drive as many people as we can to the website, so our potential clients and customers can see why they should hire Hupy and Abraham versus our competition. So every advertising mechanism we use drives our clients to our website, whether it be TV, local service ads, pay-per-click, any print ad, billboards, radio we're on, everything we're on, our main focus is Hupy.com and our telephone number, because we want to drive them to our website so they can see all the results we've got, all the happy customers we have, all the work we've done in the community, all the articles we've written, all the big cases we've worked on, videos. If you look at our website, and I know you have, you can see all the video that we have on there, so people can hear from me. They can, if they're going to come to my office, they can get a virtual tour of what it's going to be like. If I have a client coming for a deposition this week, where to park. I have a video on there that shows my clients what it looks like in our parking structure, how you get from the parking structure to the elevator up to our office. Anything you can do to make the experience for a potential client or an actual client better can be driven to your website. Live chat, that's become a huge thing we're using on our website. So a box pops up when you get on the website where they can immediately start talking with somebody live. If they're nervous about picking up the phone, and a lot of people are these days, and they don't want to talk to you, they can type and talk to you through chat. And we sign up a ton of cases every month through the live chat feature on our website. We've used different companies there. The company now we use is better than the company we used before. You know, you got to keep researching. You got to keep working at it. As you know, Google changes its analytics all the time. If you think your website from 5 years ago is going to be optimized on Google, you're fooling yourself. You got to consistently spend the money to make sure you're at the top. Like I say to my marketing team, if we're not failing 50% of the time, we are not trying hard enough, because not everything you do from a marketing perspective is going to work. But you got to get out there. You got to be at the forefront. You want to try things first. You want to figure out what works and what doesn't. Failure is a good part of being in business, because you learn the most things from things that you do that do not work. If anyone tells you that they're always a success, all their marketing efforts work, they're lying. And if that is true for you, you are not trying hard enough, and you're not working hard enough to perfect your marketing skills.
Definitely would agree with you. I mean, I think you put it right on the dot. You got to keep innovating. And like you mentioned, right, even the big companies do it. So if they're doing it, everyone's got to be doing it in order to keep on keeping up with date, especially in today's world where technology just keeps evolving. Before
it's crazy.
Now every month, now every week, there's something new every day now. So totally would agree with you.
And I'd say this too, from a competitive standpoint. How I know that what I'm doing works is because I go to I have my marketing team go to my biggest competition's website and see the things, and they're all copying me. Whether it be contests I give to give money away to drive people to my website, all these things I see my competition doing, copying everything you do. So that's, I guess, what do they say is the biggest form of flattery, is seeing your competition is copying the stuff you're doing. But I always want to be at the cutting edge. I always want to hire the best to do the best, because we've all learned this in life. You get what you pay for. And in our business, that is for sure true.
Definitely would agree with you. And let's switch into our next, let's switch gears a little bit, Jason, here, and let's talk about you as a leader, you being the managing partner there for Hupy and Abraham. What are some key tasks you focus on your day-to-day work?
I think it's trying to give my key people the autonomy to do their jobs well. Why do I say that, and why is that so important? Because I think if you look back at old school lawyers and law firms or businesses in general, there was way more of a micromanaging aspect to business if you go back 30 years ago, 20 years ago. And what you find with that is, if you're micromanaging your people, you are never going to get the most out of your staff. And I am only one person of about 175 to 200 employees that we have at Hupy and Abraham. How much can one person do? Very, very little. So what I want to strive to do as the managing partner of Hupy and Abraham is figure out a way to have my employees be as productive, as creative, and as happy as they can be. And why do I want that? For a multitude of reasons. Number one, my employees are going to be the ones that are having the majority of the contact with our clients and customers. The happier they are, the happier they're going to present to our clients and our customers. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to drive whether they're going to tell their friends and family to come to Hupy and Abraham. The lifetime value of a client or customer meant way more 20 years ago than it does today. People are fickle. So many people are trying to get to your clients or customers. So you have to focus on the customer experience. And if your employees are happy, the customers are going to see that, feel that you're going to provide better service, and they're going to be happier. I think the studies show, and I know I'm not 100% right on the numbers, but the gist of it is a happy client is going to tell 3 people how great we were at Hupy and Abraham. If you have an unhappy client at the end of the day, they're going to tell 15 people you're terrible. And the damage of an unhappy client is tremendous. But a happy client, they came in expecting they're going to be happy. So they're not going to be out there telling as many people how great you are. So you have to be prepared for that. And what do we do? I'll just give you, and I know I'm going on and on here, and I don't mean to do that to you. But I want to tell you one thing we do because I think it's important for your listeners. At the end of every customer, when we're done with a client's case, we send an anonymous survey to the client for the sole purpose of finding the one or two that are bad. I expect 99.9% of them to be great. I don't care about those because I expect them to be great. I care about the ones that are not great because you could have an unhappy employee that you don't know about that is treating their clients poorly. You may have a bad experience. They may have a bad experience for something that you could tweak. You have to feel comfortable learning to keep striving to be better, to get the most out of your business. If I get a bad survey back, if they put their name on it, now they can be anonymous, I call every single one because I want to try to turn that frown upside down. You can't be afraid of the bad. You've got to figure out if there's going to be an occasional bad, because if you don't, those people out there telling other customers or clients or friends and family are bad are going to be out there. So get the most out of your employees, provide a great environment, get them to be creative. Give them the autonomy to bring out the best in themselves because you'll be so happy as a business.
Great advice. I mean, it's advice, right? And everything. I'm glad that you brought that up, right? I mean, micromanaging can be, stressful, not just for a managing partner, but as well as for the employee. So you got to let them, be creative, let them go, let us see what they could create, right? So awesome to hear that from you, Jason. But let's jump into our next section now then, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
I am.
All right. First off, what is the last book that you read?
I read a John Grisham. I love those books. I do a lot of reading in my profession, so I like to read. Easy read, so it was the John Grisham book.
Okay, awesome. Great read there. Next is, what is one single thing that your firm is focused on at the moment the most?
I'd say customer service. Trying to have the customer experience be the absolute best it can be.
Definitely. Like you mentioned, right? Finding that point one that just went a little bit unhappy definitely goes a long way, because something that I like that you mentioned, right? When you do something good, people don't like to, say it or anything. They just expect it. But when you do something wrong, oh man, everybody finds out about it. So,
and let me say this. When I've represented 70,000 people, that speaks for the quality of the representation people are getting. Over $1 billion. I mean, these are unbelievable numbers, but it doesn't mean you get it right all the time. And if you didn't get it right, a call from the managing partner to the person that was unhappy and to show them their complaints are taken seriously. You can't even imagine how you can turn that experience around by just a simple phone call. But if you didn't figure it out and you didn't care enough to find out about the customers that didn't have the greatest experience, you forever lost that opportunity.
Definitely. Yep. I would agree with you on that. But next up then is Jason, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
In my business, one thing we are not allowed to do is directly approach a client after an accident. Personal injury lawyers are not allowed. If I knew, for example, that you were involved in an accident, I couldn't reach out to you without you first reaching out to me. And if I could change that, I understand why the rules prevent it, because they don't want people that just had something really bad happen to them to be bombarded by ambulance chasing lawyers after a traumatic event. But I wish that was different, because if great lawyers had the opportunity to get in front of people before they're sent to lawyers that aren't so good, the quality of the representation for people would just be better. Because like in every profession in life, there are good lawyers, there are mediocre lawyers, there are great lawyers, there are terrible lawyers. And if the great lawyers could affirmatively just go right away to the potential customer rather than just having an ad on TV or a local service ad or pay-per-clicks, we could go out and touch them and show them why they should come to us. I think the quality of work that every customer would get would be better.
Definitely. All right. Awesome to hear that. I mean, Is there, I mean, a law that prevents you from going directly, or is it just
They're ethical rules. They're ethical rules that lawyers have to live by. And some lawyers are still unscrupulous and do it anyways. But if you're caught doing that, you could lose your license. Obviously we would never do such a thing. We don't need to. But I could avoid potential customers getting involved with those shady kind of lawyers if we all had that ability. So that's one thing I wish I could do.
Definitely. All right. Awesome. And well, lastly, then, Jason, I mean, you have a lot of experience that, as the managing partner, you're in charge of everything. You're in charge also with the marketing. So it really is, you have a full plate on your hands. But if there's one piece of advice that you would give yourself, if you were to restart your journey as a lawyer with combining it with a marketer, what would you say to yourself?
It's interesting you asked that because I lecture a lot at schools now, and I love giving back and trying to get people excited about my profession and others. And the one thing I always say when this similar question is asked is be humble. I think one of the primary reasons I have become as successful as I have become, and let me say that I was always a big dreamer. Even as a young child, I was a big dreamer. But I couldn't have dreamed this big. And I'm just so proud of all the employees and clients that have helped me along the way reach my dreams and exceed my dreams. But I say be humble, because the way to get your business to reach its ultimate potential is to have all of your employees want to work hard for you all day and every day. And if you're humble and you give the credit to the people that are out there every day fighting for you, fighting for your clients, and you do that, you are going to get the most on the people. You are going to be rewarded because they're happy coming to work. As we said earlier, they're the ones talking to your customers and clients all day long. And I know how lucky I feel, because let me tell you this, your success, and I'm not afraid to say it, and I say it every day, is based so much on luck and timing. Hard work is a given. We need the luck and the timing, and we should all be humble enough to understand that we just opened the door and went right, and we could have gone left, and our whole lives and careers would be different. So at the end of the day, the best piece of advice I can give young people, business owners, anybody out there, is work your tail off, but be humble and be grateful for all the hard work of the other people that are in your office, helped you along the way, gave you guidance. And if you do that, you're giving yourself the best opportunity to get the most out of your staff and what you do.
Definitely some great advice there. I mean, humble goes a long way, right? I mean, I think when you put that into consideration, to not just being humble with your loved ones, but with everyone, you feel peace and mind as well, right? That you're comfortable, and so you could go on. So definitely some great advice there from you, Jason. Thank you so much. And well, Jason, we're coming to an end here of the podcast. But before we go ahead and end it, I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about Hupy and Abraham?
That we're here to help people.
There you guys heard it. You can always check them out at hupy.com. Personal injury lawyers, they're in the Midwest. They're voted best. They're rated the best for 12 years in a row. Jason, thank you so much for being on with us today. To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to our next episode at Path Monk Presents. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Thank you.